All right, welcome. I'm going to now get started on Program 7 implementation. So here we are on Program 7. I am going to download the account balance file, and I'm going to download the Program 7 file, and I have my Program 4, 5, and 6 ready to go so I can copy and paste things from them. And I'm going to launch Visual Studio, so bear with me for a moment because I need to, actually I can record my whole screen. Let me share and record my whole screen. All right, so now I'm recording my whole screen so I can launch Visual Studio and get started. So I'm going to launch Visual Studio. I'm going to create a new project. An empty project. I'm going to name this Program 7 Video and get started. So I've created this project and I'm going to create the directory. The name of the project is Program 7 Video. And now here I am in Visual Studio. So I can full screen this. Now I need to go Project, Add New Item. And it's going to be Sorgente prog7.c. So I've added my source code file. And so now I need to do a couple of things. The first thing I need to do is I need to take the account balance file, which has $5 in it, and I need to save it in the directory of this project. So I put the project in here in my Program 7 folder, Program 7 Video, and I want to make sure this does not have a 1 after it. So I'm going to save this in the same directory as my source code. So I can show you how in this directory, I do have my source code. It's just it doesn't have a .txt extension. So in this directory here, this is where my source code file is right here, Sorgente prog7, and I've added this account balance file, which has $5 in it because we want to start out with $5. But the next time we run it, it's going to have whatever was left from the previous execution. All right, so here's my code. This is the template that I gave you guys to help you guys get started. So let's take this template and copy and paste it into my project. I also want to point out that here on my desktop, I've downloaded and I have my Program 5 code, 4 code, and 6 code. So if I need to reference that, so I don't have to copy and paste, I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, so here I am in Visual Studio. I copy and pasted the template in here so I can get started on Program 7. Let's see if the template builds and what it does. All right, I have a warning here that's telling me that I have this variable called price, but other than that, it does build. So let's run it and see what happens. So it gets the balance from the file, it's saving the balance to the file, and have a great day. But I don't think it's actually connecting to the file. I think those are just printf statements. So let's go ahead and connect to the file and save to the file. So step 1, we want to connect to the file and read the balance from the file. So we are able to open the file, but we need to balance. We need to get the balance from the file. So I need to declare a variable called, I like to use balance in main to indicate that this is the variable that the balance in main, which is going to be passed to different functions. And then I use fscanf to get the balance. So the way that I do that, I just use fscanf. The first argument to fscanf is in pointer. I use %LF because I'm reading in a double, and I'm going to read into the address of balance in main. So this is going to read that balance from the file, and then I want to display the balance. I can use the display balance function to do that. So let's implement our display balance function. Our display balance function is actually called view balance. I have the prototype right up here. And if I bring up my, let's launch my program 4, my program 5, and my program 6. I think my program 6 has the same view balance function, so I'm going to go ahead and take that and implement that function. So here's my view balance function. Let's make sure it's not already listed here. It's not, so you can't put the function definitions twice. So the first function, you also need to implement your greeting function. So don't forget that. I'm not going to implement the greeting function in this video, but I need to view my balance. So I'm going to go ahead and implement my view balance function. So I should be getting the balance from the file. Then I want to view the balance. Obviously, this is not a correct function call. The name of the function is view balance. The name of the variable is balance in main. And this is a function call. So now we're going to check and see if the view balance function is working. Okay, so my current balance is my file has been completely messed up and corrupted. So let's fix that. Now, why did my balance get corrupted? Because what happened is the first time when I executed, I connected to the file, and then I connected to the file again, but I didn't put any value in it. So there's a couple of things I could do. The first thing I should do is I got to go back into my folder where the file is located and fix that. So let's go back here and change that to $5. So I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to change the account balance. Now put $5 back in it. Now the reason it gave me a weird value when it connects to the file is because it connected to when I connected to the file, and then I connected to the file again. When you connect to the file to read, it's perfectly fine. But when you connect to the file to write, if you don't write anything to the file, what happens is it resets the file and removes what was in there. And because I didn't have anything to write into the file, it put nothing into the file. So the next time when I tried to read from the file, there was nothing to read. So let's make sure that doesn't happen again. And let's connect to the file, read the balance, and then let's go ahead and use printf to put the balance into the file. So this is not my in pointer, this is my out pointer. I'm going to use %F, and there is no ampersand. So now I should be reading from the file and writing to the file. And let's make sure that that works. And if you don't, you should have already done this in program 6. So that's why I'm going through it quickly. So I read, it's $5. I save it. Let's run it again to make sure it's saved the $5. I can also navigate and look at it. And so that is working as expected. All right, so don't forget to greet the user. I'm not going to greet the user in this video, but I'm going to move on to the next option that I want to do. So the next option I want to do is I want to do this option list pointer. I want to display my options and get my while loop to work. Now, lucky for me, I already did program 6, and the option list pointer function is the same as it was from program 6. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. It's nothing changed. I'm going to display the choices, get the choice. So now I have this function is implemented. So now all I have to do is set up my loop, which is also the same as program 6. So I'm going to get the choice, make sure the choice is not Q. I am not going to do the process yet because I haven't implemented it yet. I'm just going to get a choice, make sure it's not Q. Get the next choice, make sure it's not Q. So I'm not going to implement this part yet because I don't know if it's working as expected, and I want to do one thing at a time. So let's make sure that this is working. So I can enter a choice S, G, O, Q, quit, and it quits. All right, so that's working. So the next thing, obviously, is I need to implement and get started on the process option function. So let's take a look at the process option function. The process option function, it is going to be very similar to program 6, but I am going to be implementing, I'm going to be passing the balance, and I'm going to be implementing more options. So if I take a look at my program 6, my process option function did not completely do, did not implement O. So I don't want to get rid of all this because these are some tips on how to deal with O, but I can add these other options. So they will be the same. So I'm going to display the menu. So that's going to be my next thing I'm going to implement. This is going to be the last thing I'm going to implement. Display the balance. This one I'm going to implement next. Add money to the account, and the else that it's not valid. So I just want to make sure that I'm calling this function right, and that's all working as expected. So before I continue, I'm going to check this and make sure that this is working. Now the balance in main, it's going to pass the balance, which is $5. It's going to come in here and take that $5, and I'm actually not doing anything with the balance, so it should just return back the $5. So let's see if that works as expected. All right, enter S, display the menu, enter O. O, I have not implemented yet, so I don't want to do that yet. So let's try again. B, A, X, not recognized, Q to quit. All right, so let's implement all of the easy ones, and then we will do this last actually making an order. So let's start at the top, display the menu. So we do have a display the menu function from program 6. Again, this is why I said I hope that you guys really have implemented your program 6, because look how much time it's taking me, how much time it's saving me by getting the functions from program 6. So I don't have the function definition for display the menu, so I'm going to go ahead and add that. And when am I going to display the menu? Well, I'm going to display the menu when the user enters S. So let's check here on S. I'm going to display the menu. So let's make sure that that's working. Okay, that works. All right, so the next O, I'm going to skip that, and let's do B. For B, I'm going to display the account balance. I already have that implemented, so I just go here and call my view balance function. Now the difference is this balance is going to make a copy of the balance in main. So when I display the balance here, I'm not going to display balance in main. I'm going to display the balance that is a copy that is local to this function. This is fundamental function stuff, so you need to understand that. When I call the display balance function, view balance function in main, I'm actually displaying the balance from the main function, which is the balance in main. Then I'm taking this balance in main and passing it to the process option function, The process option function is making its own copy called balance. This is just like saying double balance equals balance in main. Excuse me. But of course, that's not, I don't do that. It's going to do it automatically because it's making a copy. I'm going to pause for 1 second and take a drink of water. All right, so I'm back. So let's check. We can check if S works. View balance. I also want to view the balance here in the add money to the account. So I might as well make sure that that's working. And so now all I'm doing when I select A is view the balance, but the next thing I will do is the add money. All right. Okay. B shows the balance. A shows the balance. And Q to quit. All right. So now the next option I'm going to do is going to add money to the account. In order to add money to the account, let's take a look at our functions up here. Greeting, you guys have to do yourself. We do have the reload function. The reload function takes a balance, makes a copy of it, reloads, and returns it. So the nice thing is I can go here to my program 4 and look, the reload is the same. So I can get my reload function from program 4 and reuse it. So it's very good if you guys have done program 4, 5, and 6, like I said. I don't think I have my reload function here. Nope. So I'm going to go ahead and put the reload function here. The functions can go in any order because I have prototypes at the top. So how does reload work? You just ask the user how much they would like to add, you add the amount, and then you return it. So when my option is A, my process option function, when my option is A, I display the balance, then I call the reload. And then I can view the balance again. So this is what's going to be interesting. Now, when we reload, it's also going to change this balance, which is going to change the balance in the file. So let's see if that's working. All right, add money. I want to add $15. So now I added $15. My current balance is $20. If I quit, and now if I re-execute again, it should start out with $20 because what I did is I changed the balance in the file and I added money to the account and it saved it in the file. So the next execution, if I go to that file, I can see that the new account balance is now $20. All right, so the next video we're going to actually make a purchase. Making a purchase involves setting the price. So we have to do all of those items, all of those other functions. So the other functions we're going to have to do is we're going to have to set the price. So that's a new function here. We're going to have to set the price. We're going to have to check for enough money, but luckily the check for enough money part, we do have something very similar. It works just like it did in program 4. So I'm going to stop recording here and I will be doing that in the next video.